I'm gonna say it again. The Gemstone Crab is definitely one of the best updates this game has ever seen. I wasn't actively recording when I got the levels, but I finally got 65 strength and 65 attack. As you can see, I've been AFKing a little bit more. I'm up to 68 strength, almost to 69. And the reasons why level 65 strength and attack are significant is because you need to have a combined level of 130 between your attack and strength to access the Warriors Guild. The Warriors Guild is home to many things, but my main reason for going there is to obtain the Dragon Defender, which is going to be my best offhand for the foreseeable future. But it does have a few other nice amenities, such as the potion and food vendors. The potions are pretty self-explanatory. My herb lore level isn't very high right now, so it's always nice to be able to purchase them. And then also the food vendor is going to give me access to the cheese potatoes, which heals quite a bit of HP and is good for a starting account. However, before I head over to the Warriors Guild, there is one major upgrade I need to hunt down. I also wanted to share the gem haul I got while AFKing at the Gemstone Crab. Now keep in mind, I didn't mine every single crab that was killed due to there either being too many players and I'm not doing enough damage, or simply because I was AFKing so hard and didn't click on it before it despawned. I do want to say shout out to World 582, great group of people that I never actually spoke with. The world was always hovering around 10 to 11 people at the Gemstone Crab, meaning I always got access to mining after it was killed, so that was great. Here are the gems. I'm really excited about this because all of these will be converted into useful teleports and other useful jewelry. The opals are going to be turned into dodgy necklaces, which will help me with my thieving training. The jades will be turned into the necklace of passage, which have a number of useful teleports. The red topaz will be turned into burning amulets and bracelets of slaughter for when I'm training slayer. Sapphires will be turned into rings of recoil and the games necklace, and of course the emeralds will be saved for the rings of dueling. I did also manage to get a dragon stone, which is nice. That will save me from having to use a crystal key later on, and hopefully once I get the crafting level I will turn that into my amulet of glory. I was also feeling a little goofy, a little crazy, and decided to go and get myself some more Eclipse Red wines, and before I knew it, I ended up with 1,507 Eclipse Reds. I'm not even going to bother telling you how long it took to collect all of these. It's kind of embarrassing. I figured this is a pretty smart plan because not having money on an Ironman is a huge stopgap, and I figured this was worth doing now instead of having to run back and forth every time I needed money. But anyways, let's chuck it into Antonius's wine shop and see how much we end up with. And just like that, we have made our first 1 million gold on the Ironman account. Now this is actually pretty crazy because having this amount of gold at this account stage is going to be awesome, and it's going to keep me set for quite a while. And not to mention that this is going to be super useful for the next part of my plan. I remember doing this quest as a kid, and man, this puzzle was just the absolute worst. I think I probably ended up paying the 200k to just auto-solve it, but these days, RuneLite just gives you the answer for free. We have now completed the Monkey Madness 1 quest, 3 quest points, access to Apatol, 10,000 coins, 3 diamonds, and access to Darrow's training. Honestly, this quest was not as bad as I remembered it. It's been a long time since I've done it. It was a little bit challenging without any energy potions or stamina potions, but we still made it through. Awesome quest to get out of the way, and it's going to play in nicely to this next part of our plan. While I'm here at the Gnome Stronghold, I am going to go ahead and get the additional training from Darrow, and with the Gnome training program completed, we have now reached level 57 defense and 69 attack, which is perfect because to equip the Dragon Defender that we are hunting, we will need 60 defense, so from all the grinding we're going to do with the Warriors Guild here in a little bit, I think we'll reach 60 in no time. As is customary with every Monkey Madness 1 completion, we are making the pilgrimage back to Apatol to obtain our very own Dragon Scimitar for 100,000 gold. This is probably one of the coolest looking items in all of Old School RuneScape and is absolutely iconic. Not to mention that this weapon is going to be our best in slot weapon until we obtain the zombie axe later down the line. However, now that we have obtained the Dragon Scimitar, it is time for us to bid a fond farewell to our trusty Rune Scimitar. You served us very well and you gained us a lot of combat XP. And now, you've been turned into 15k gold. Alright, after picking up some adamant armor, we are heading over to the Warriors Guild to start collecting guild tokens. The reason you need to collect tokens is because in order to access the Cyclops, you do need to pay with the Warriors Guild tokens, and they are deducted ever so often. Now, the reason I am using adamant armor is because it's A, cheaper than rune, and B, it is the first tier of armor you can use for reanimation that does not lose pieces, or does not have a chance to lose pieces upon killing the animation. So I'm an idiot and accidentally just died while fighting this animated armor and lost my new kitten that I just acquired. But I was curious and hit the call follower button, and for some reason the pet Kriara pops up. I'm not sure why this is, because it's like actually actively following me, but when you go to pick it up, it automatically disappears. I'm actually really curious to see if this is visible to other players, because I could walk around with this pet out while having one range and it would just blow people's minds. I just brought my main Ironman account over here, and unfortunately the pet Kriara is not visible to other players. It would be super cool if it was, but yeah, that is one of the weirdest glitches I have ever seen. It's also really interesting because, like I said, if you hit pickup, it disappears, but if you hit talk to, it actually lets you go through the normal dialogue that you would have if you actually had obtained the pet. So very, very weird. 3,000 Warrior Guild tokens collected. I've got my inventory set up. I've got my high elks ready to go. Let's go see how long it takes us to get this rune and Dragon Defender. Of course, we missed the pop-up, but there is 60 defense. We can now equip Dragon Armor and the Dragon Defender once I get it. There we go, the Rune Defender. Wasn't even paying attention, I was doing some editing on the side. Looking beautiful in the inventory. Let's throw it on. Let's get rid of the Addy Defender. Here are the drops I received while I was killing the Cyclops. Got a few alcohols and 9k raw gold, totaling 49.6k, so not bad by any means. It did allow me to sustain the attack potions and food I was purchasing from down below. And then I also stacked up on the black knives because this will be useful when I am training ranged over at the Gemstone Crab later. I did end up keeping all of the big bones, or at least most of them, amounting in 353 total big bones. I figured it would be nice having these lying around in the bank for when I get to Royal Titans, because they drop the Giant Soul Amulet, which is charged with Law Runes and Big Bones, and allows you to teleport directly to the Royal Titans. And then I am going to use the rest of them on the Chaos Altar to get some Prayer XP. It's actually not that bad now that I do have access to a bunch of red topaz. I do need a few more crafting levels before I unlock the Burning Amulet, but once I do get them, it'll be a cakewalk teleporting up into the wilderness and using these bones on the altar. Anyways, let's head down to the basement and see how long it takes us to get the Dragon Defender. Holy sh**. Let's go. The Dragon Defender unlocked on the new Ironman account. Alright, well that is the Defender grind officially done. It'll help out with Slayer once I get to that. It'll help out with hunting and combat achievements. And all in all, it's just a great thing to have unlocked. Currently heading back from an AFK session at the Gemstone Crab. Now, I do have a long list of quests that I want to knock out and a lot of skills that I need to level for this next phase of the account. I really want to get all of my daily scape or daily activities set up, meaning I will need to start leveling my farming, leveling my thieving so I can pickpocket master farmers and get seeds to farm with, and complete the Bone Voyage quest so I can unlock Fossil Island. It's great to unlock Fossil Island as early as possible because it gives you access to passive hunter experience via the birdhouses, as well as doing other things like mining volcanic ash, which will allow me to make ultra compost, which will help with my farming grind. I figured it's good to get this out of the way now because the sooner I'm able to level my farming, the sooner I'll be able to level my herb lore, the sooner I level my hunter, the sooner I'll be able to start doing hunter rumors, and so on. In order to have a well-rounded and strong account, you need to do these daily activities in order to get resources so you can keep leveling your skills and have supplies for your other endeavors. I've made my way over to Auburn-Vale to try something new out, the Vale Totems minigame. The Vale Totems minigame was added a few months ago during the release of the Baltimore Part 3 expansion, and it has completely changed the way that fletching is leveled. Now, I do need level 20 fletching to start this quest. I am only level 19, so let me go find some trees I can actually chop down and fletch, and then we will get started. The main reason I'm doing this is because A, I do need to get my fletching level a little bit higher, but B, I do need 36 woodcutting to complete the Lost City quest. Completing the Lost City quest is going to be huge because it will unlock a lot of content for the account, most notably the fairy rings via the completion of Fairy Tale Part 1. I figured it would be fun to try out this new minigame because it's something that I have never experienced before myself, and because I can get some useful rewards along the way. Tutorial done, seems pretty straightforward. I do need to do a bit of research to determine the optimal route, but I am definitely looking forward to completing more of this minigame. Alright, so the gist of this minigame is running around Auburn-Vale to all of these totem sites. You are first going to build the totem, and then you have to carve in the different creatures. Now, I am using the RuneLite plugin, so it makes it very brain dead. And then after you have carved in the creatures, you then decorate the totem using the best bow that you can use. And there are plenty of trees along the way for you to restock. Now, if you are planning ahead, you could go and power chop some trees, have them banked, have them already fletched, and then you can go and make your rounds. I'm just going to be chopping and fletching as I go along. Honestly, I thought this was going to be pretty slow considering I don't have any graceful unlocked, but considering the fact that I have to stop to chop trees ever so often means my run energy gets a chance to replenish. There we go, level 36 woodcutting achieved. This now means we can go and complete the Lost City quest. I really am impressed by this Vale Totems minigame. It's very fun and very, very chill. I haven't been here a long time, but I've already gotten a couple bird's nests, some tree seeds, some other seeds, some blessed bone shards. And as we enter this shed, we have completed the Lost City quest, granting us 3 quest points and access to the city of Xanaris. As much as I would love to instantly start Fairy Tale Part 1, I do need to go and complete a few more quests, Nature Spirit and Priest in Peril. This just proves my point that getting combat up early on and getting the Defender and Dragon Scimitar and the other upgrades is just super worth it because it makes questing an absolute cakewalk. After running back and forth a million times, we have completed the Priest in Peril quest, 1 quest point, 1400 prayer XP, the Wolfbane Dagger, which is going to be instantly dropped, and most importantly, access to Mauritania. After slaughtering some gas, we have now completed the Nature Spirit quest, awarding us 2 quest points, 3k crafting XP, and 2k hit points and defense XP, and will now allow us to complete the Fairy Tale Part 1 quest. So I'm nearing the end of Fairy Tale Part 1, and there is a requirement for you to gather 3 random items. I got off pretty easy. I needed an uncut ruby, a bunch of grapes, and joker bones. I already had the uncut ruby in my bank. I can buy the grapes from the chest in the Lumbridge basement, and the joker bones I can get from this joker here in the Artie Zoo. Now, I've been playing this game for over 20 years. I had no idea that this Joker was here. So you learn something new every day. Let's go ahead and kill him and pick up his bones. It's also nice knowing that this is the last time I will have to run all the way to Mauritania, because after I complete this quest, I will have access to fairy rings and I can just teleport there in the future. After the most boring boss fight imaginable, we have completed Fairy Tale Part 1, awarding us with 2 quest points, 3500 farming XP, 2k attack XP, and 1k magic XP. Now the main reason for doing this quest was the farming XP and the access to the fairy rings, but it is also nice to now have the magic secateurs. The magic secateurs give you a 10% chance to increase your yield beyond the base amount when you are harvesting your crops, so it is very nice to have for farming. Now technically we didn't unlock fairy rings from completing Fairy Tale Part 1. We do need to go and start Fairy Tale Part 2, but we don't have to wait very long because getting the fairy rings is pretty much the first thing you do in this quest. Alright, after spacebarring through some dialogue, we have now unlocked access to the fairy rings. This is probably one of the biggest unlocks for the account because there are so many fairy rings scattered across the map that it makes getting around super easy. And it's also worth mentioning that getting the Artie Cloak 1 done early on gave us a very easy way to access the fairy ring right over here. So you just teleport, run over here to the east, and then boom, you are at a fairy ring. Just scammed a vampire into switching fishing spots with me, and have completed the fishing contest quest, giving us 1 quest point, 2400 fishing XP, and access to the White Wolf Mountain Tunnel. Now, the reason I completed this quest is because it is a prerequisite to the Giant Dwarf quest, which is needed to complete the Forgettable Tale of a Drunken Dwarf quest, which also awards farming XP. Not to mention that fishing contest is needed to complete the dwarf portion of the Recipe for Disaster subquests. It's actually pretty cool that you can skip the last cutscene in this quest because it's super long, but anyways, that is the Giant Dwarf completed. 2 quest points, 2500 mining, smithing, and crafting XP, and 1500 magic, thieving, and fire making XP. This gets us level 27 mining, level 34 smithing, level 37 crafting, level 30 thieving, level 19 fire making, and we can now complete the Forgettable Tale of a Drunken Dwarf. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot that this quest took so damn long to complete. You have to wait for like 3 separate things to grow, and it is just a total nightmare. There you have it, Forgettable Tale of a Drunken Dwarf completed, awarding us 2 quest points, 5000 farming and cooking XP, and 2 mature dwarven stouts. This gets us to level 26 farming, 27 cooking, and we can now move on to the next quest on the list. That was a very quick quest. The Garden of Death has been completed, 1 quest point, and 10,000 farming XP. That is absolutely massive. That gets us instantly to level 33 farming. I have half a mind to stop here, but honestly I only have a few more quests to go, and I will have completely maxed out the amount of farming XP I can get just from questing. After doing some light grave robbing, we have completed the Creature of Finkenstring quest, awarding us 2 quest points, 1000 thieving XP, and the Ring of Karos. Now, the reason we completed this quest is because it is a prerequisite for the Garden of Tranquility quest. There you go, Garden of Tranquility completed, 2 quest points, 5k farming XP, an upgraded Ring of Karos, a super compost potion, and some seeds. Let's see what we got. We got an acorn, an apple tree seed, and 5 guam seeds. Not bad. And that gets us to level 36 farming. There is 1 quest left on the list, and that will complete all of the farming experience that we can gather from quests. That is going to be Enlightened Journey. But unfortunately, I have to wait for the willow tree to grow to collect the willow branches, so it's going to be a while. We straight up just learned how to make explosives, but there's the dig site completed, 2 quest points, 15.3k mining XP, not bad, 2k herb lore, and 2 gold bars. Gives us level 36 mining and 21 herb lore. In order to start the Bone Voyage quest, which is next on my list, I do need 100 kudos from the Varrock Museum. There are a few ways to obtain kudos, number 1 being completing quests. After you complete certain quests, you can go and talk to somebody and turn them in to gain kudos, but then you can also gain kudos from these archaeological finds. Basically, you just clean specimens, and depending on the specimen you find, you can get up to 10 kudos. You can collect 50 kudos total from these specimens, so it's super important to get these all found, because otherwise I won't be able to hit the threshold to complete Bone Voyage. We've gotten pretty lucky and already found all of the items that we need to gain the kudos, but we still need to stick around so we can get the item that allows us to make dig site pendants, which is what we will use to teleport to Fossil Island once we complete the next quest. A couple of pulls later, and we get the Clean Necklace, which is what we will turn in to gain the ability to make dig site pendants. I'm here in the Varrock Museum basement talking to Orlando Smith to turn in the mini quest. This minigame consists of running around the basement, looking at the display cases that contain either an animal or a monster, and answering 3 trivia questions. Once you have answered 3 trivia questions correctly at each display, return to Orlando Smith, and you will instantly gain 9 Slayer and 9 Hunter. Alright, there we go. Level 9 Slayer, level 9 Hunter. This is a nice little jump start, and it took all of 2 minutes to complete. In addition, you also get 28 kudos for completing this, which means I now have 100 kudos, and I can start the Bone Voyage quest. I was a few crafting levels short of being able to make the ruby amulets, which is what are enchanted to make the dig site pendants, but thanks to all of my AFKing at the gemstone crab, I had plenty of gems left over in the bank that I crafted to get the level needed. After the most toxic steering sequence I've ever encountered, we have completed the Bone Voyage quest, giving us full access to Fossil Island. Alright, we did just complete the Daddy's Home mini quest, awarding us with enough XP to get us to 9 construction, along with a few other useful items, such as these planks and these teleport tablets. The goal now is to get level 25 construction so I can make a workshop in my player-owned house. Once I have the workshop, I can build a workbench too, which will allow me to start making clockwork mechanisms, which is needed for birdhouse runs. There we go, Tower of Life completed, 2 quest points, 1000 construction XP, 500 crafting and thieving, and access to creature creation. There we go, level 25 construction. We can now make the crafting table too. This is another reason why I'm glad I got over 1 mil GP early on. It makes training skills like construction that much easier because you don't have to scrounge for your gold. You can easily just go and make the planks that you need. Yapping aside, let's go ahead and upgrade this crafting table 1 into crafting table 2. And now we do have the ability to make the clockwork mechanisms. I also realized just a second ago that I've been calling this a workbench the entire time. The workbench is actually the center space. I completely forgot, but I definitely meant crafting bench the entire time. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I am so happy to be able to do this right now. Enlightened Journey has been completed. This quest took me literally all day to complete, because not only did I have to complete other quests in order to get the farming level to plant the willow tree, I also had to wait for the willow tree to grow, and then I had to wait for it to grow branches not once, but 3 times in order to get the willow branches needed to complete this quest. But anyways, there we go, 1 quest point, 4,000 fire making XP, 3,000 farming XP, aka the entire reason we even did this quest, 2,000 crafting XP, 1,500 woodcutting XP, and the balloon transport access system. This gets us all the way to level 38 farming, meaning we have now completed every single quest that awards farming experience. It's actually pretty incredible that I was able to get level 1 through 38 farming without ever planting a single seed. Minus the ones I had to plant for the quest, of course. It really just goes to show how powerful questing is and why you should always prioritize doing them. Now that I've leveled my farming and unlocked Fossil Island, I do need to start doing my daily scape, aka my daily activities every day that will help progress my account. On Fossil Island, I will be doing birdhouse runs, which will gain me passive hunter experience, and then when it comes to farming, I need to start doing herb runs, crop runs, and tree runs, because those are going to gain me the most experience. However, before I can start farming, I do need to do a few more things. Number 1, I do need to go and mine some volcanic ash from here on Fossil Island, because that will be used to upgrade super compost into ultra compost. With that being said, I do also need to start making super compost, meaning I do need to go and gather some different types of fruits and produce so I can start using the compost bins. Most importantly, I need to start leveling my thieving so I can start pickpocketing master farmers, because that is going to be my main source of seeds outside of Slayer. Of course, I do have a plan on how to quickly level my thieving, but unfortunately, it involves more questing. I do say unfortunately sarcastically, questing is awesome, I cannot express that enough, but after you've done quests for the entire day, it does get a bit tiring, so I probably will save those quests for another day. But either way, there we go. Our first round of birdhouses have been planted, so let's see what kind of hunter XP we can get over time. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for episode 4. As you can see, we did complete a lot of quests and leveled our skills a bunch. But anyways, I really do hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like and subscribed to the channel for future content and episodes, because it took me a long time to put this episode together. Anyways, I really do appreciate you watching. As always, my name is Glazed, and I hope to see y'all in the next episode.